Welcome to the Cutesy Shelf. My name is DM. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make these Easter mason jar embellishments. And these would be great to stick on all sorts of projects such as greeting cards, treat boxes. You can use them as tags, you can turn them into ornaments. The possibilities are endless, really. And for this, you will need a fuse tool. And I'm using my Project Life fuse tool that I got from Michael's, which looks like this. And this has been around for like a number of years, so I'm not sure like if your Michaels will still have it, but I know that like I've seen this on Amazon as well. And then if you don't have a fuse tool, you could also use a sewing machine. And then for each of these, I did use a like page protectors as the base. And then for each, I just stuck some of this fluff to the bottom of the jars. I added some sequins like to make it sparkly, and then for each of them they're just holding some like die cuts that I stuck in there of either peeps or chocolate bunnies. But really you could use whatever you have, like even stickers would look really cute. And then for each of them I use twine as well as embellishments to decorate them. And then for each of these they do have a gingerbread peeking on the top there, and those I made using some dies that I have. For example, these ones that you see here are from the DIY art bin store, and this is what the die looks like. So it's basically a Christmas die, but I just used it for Easter, and this is the face that I used. But you could really get as creative, and you can put like even little bunnies as little peekers, little chicks as well. And then for the base as well, you're gonna need like a mason jar to trace around. So what I'm using here is dies that I got from a KLJUIP mason jar die set, which looks like this. It comes like three different mason jar sizes, and I'm just using the medium size one. And I really like this because it does even come with like these little mason jar lids that I could put to the top. But if you don't have dies to work with, you could definitely use your like digital die cutting machine to make a template, or you could also use cookie cutters. You can print one off of the internet and just cut it out in sturdy, cardstock so that you can trace around. And with the mason jar lids, you can definitely cut your own as well, as they're pretty simple. For these ones, I cut them out in gold foil paper. And then let me just show you some of the products that I used. So for the fluff here, I got that from the Easter section from Hobby Lobby, which looks like this. It's called Multicolored Fluff. And so it comes in 3 different colors. And then if you live in Canada, you could also find this at the, I found this at the Dollarama, multicolored fluff, and you get this giant bag for $1.50 with these 3 colors. And I know they have another variety with a darker purple, I think. And then also the page protectors that I use, I also got from Dollarama, and this is the brand that I'm using. So this pack comes with like 10 pieces for $1.25, and I really like this brand because it's extra heavyweight, so it's quite thick. But really any page protectors that you can find will do, just as long as, like if you can find a thicker kind, that would be great. And then also like these are in an Easter theme, but you can definitely like apply this project to other themes throughout the year as well. So for example, here are some Valentine's theme ones that I made before. And this was actually made using a mason jar die as the outline from Michael's. And so I put little like sequins in it to make them shakers, and added little beads. And these ones are actually double-sided, and these ones I did turn into little ornaments. So it doesn't have to be just for Easter. You can definitely get as creative as you like. And here are some more examples of other ones that I made. And then for these, I did use a eyelet to like punch a hole at the top to turn them into ornaments. So if you're ready, we will start the tutorial. To start, I've taken out my Weir Memory Keeper's glass mat, as it can take the heat from the fuse tool, and also it produces a much nicer result. But if you don't have a glass mat, you can also use really thick cardboard, as you don't want to ruin your work surface. So I'm gonna also grab a leftover piece of like page protector that I was using, and then I'm gonna bring in my template, which is the jar. And then also off camera, I had my fuse tool heating up for the last 20 minutes now, because you really do want it to heat up for a long time so that it's more effective. Just like your glue gun, you want it to heat up properly before it becomes really effective. So I'm just gonna grab my tool. And then what I'd like to do first is do a couple of test runs, because this tool does take practice. So what you're gonna be wanting, like good pressure, because the first time that you go to use it, you're gonna get like an uneven result that looks like this. Like sometimes it's the tool slid here so that the lines are not even. So you're gonna want to practice a little bit so that you have a rhythm going here. And it should look something like this, like where the dots are like really even as it's crunching through the plastic. And I like to start at the top of the mason jar, which is over here. So you just have to hold down your page protector sheet as well as the template at the same time. And then, so you're gonna hold everything down like this. And then before I begin again, I just like to like do a couple of test runs, because you will not get like a perfect result. So just start at the top here like this. See, sometimes it just skids, but don't worry, we're gonna fix that later. And then just go along the outside of your mason jar like this. And then I'm just gonna continue here. And instead of going all the way, I'm just gonna stop right there for a moment, because when I add my fluff in here to the mason jar, I don't want the fluff to be moving around. So what I did is on the back here, you're gonna see like I added a strip of score tape to keep it in place. So I'm gonna do that right now, because it's gonna be much easier for you to do it now rather than later. And so I did eyeball a piece of like score tape off camera here. I'm gonna take these little tweezers because this really helps. So these tweezers, these are something like I use almost every day in crafting. So I'm gonna be adding that here at the bottom of the jar like that. So I'm just gonna open up the page protector sheets and just slip this piece in there like this. Okay, and then just hold it in place there like that. And then I'm gonna grab my mason jar and continue with this. Okay, so I'm just gonna go this way here. Okay, and then you're just gonna continue around the mason jar right up to the top again. Okay, just grab my fuse tool. The corners are hard, and then just stop at the top here. And then because this mason jar had this little like part here, I couldn't get like into it very well. So I'm just gonna finish the rest here where I missed it. Just gonna continue and connect that. Just grab my tool. Okay, and then you should get a result that looks like this. And then so when you seal your mason jar for the first time, it's actually gonna be very weak. So in order to seal it properly, we're gonna have to turn it around and do the same thing on the other side so that it seals properly. And like if you put shaker bits into it, it will not leak. Like this information was not available anywhere when I first got this. I kind of had to figure it out myself because no one tells you about this. So now we're gonna seal this properly on the other side. So we're just gonna go around the mason jar again. And try not to hover, because like you don't wanna burn a hole into it. And take your time around the corners. And then I'm just gonna seal it properly down here. Okay, and then that should be good. Okay, and so it should look like this. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna add our fluff. And then, so now we're gonna add the fluff, and we're just gonna grab a little bit from our bag. So just a little amount. And before we remove the tape here, we're gonna, stick this fluff into our mason jar to make sure, that's enough. So I'm just gonna grab my little tweezers here to help me. And I'm gonna use it to stick the fluff to the bottom here, and just use the other end here to, push it into place to see, if I have enough fluff. And this looks good. So what I'm gonna do is, because you don't want too much, because you still have to put like something else in there, like the die cut. So that looks good to me. So I'm gonna take this out here. I'm gonna grab my tweezers and remove the tape on this square tape, like the backing piece. So this is a bit tricky. So in order to do this, I'm just gonna be using my tweezers here. And at the same time, I wanna make sure that this doesn't close all the way. So I'm just gonna put my finger in here, take this little backing piece out, use my tweezers to hold on to the fluff. And then use the tweezers to push it down into place. This is totally up to you how much you want to use. And so it should look like that. And that looks good to me. Like, I just want to make sure that this gets into the corners here. And then you don't want to squish it too much because you want it to look fluffy. And if it looks good, just I'm just gonna rub against the score tape in there so that it stays into place. Okay, and that looks good to me. And then what I like to do next is I like to grab some sequins, and I just use these that I get from, it's like Martha Stewart and this sequins, but you can use any sequins that you have. And I like to use the clear one, and I'm gonna use the star-shaped ones, but of course you could use whatever you want. So just open this and add some sequins to it because it looks more magical when you do. And go like this, right? And then I'd like to take the other end of my tweezers and like make it go to the bottom here as well. So just go like this so that it spreads around the bottom like that. Okay, and then I also like to grab my die cut, which is, I'm gonna be using this mint green one here of the Peep, and I like to have my die cut stay in place as well. Like, I don't want it to be falling over. Well, that's just me, right? But so I added some score tape to the back, and I'm gonna be like adhering it to the back there so that it stays in place. And then also just keep in mind that when you do put your little die cut in, right, that it stays under the part where the lid is. So for example, this is where the lid should go, right? So you don't, like, I don't want my bunny to be going over that, so I have to make sure like it's gonna stay below the lid because it looks much cuter, right? So I'm just gonna remove the score tape on the back here. Just gonna move this out of the way as well. Okay, and then I'm just gonna grab my tweezers again to hold it here. Okay, and then I'm gonna gauge where I want the bunny to be. And then I like to stick it on the back there like that in the center, just like that. And then that looks good to me, so I'm gonna push this so that it stays into place with the adhesive there. And then just use my little bone folder to make, burnish it a little so that it stays in place. And then if I take my little jar, like the lid, you know, it looks good. Okay, so now all we have to do is seal the top there with our fuse tool. So I'm just gonna grab the die, line everything up here so that we can seal the top. Okay, and then just give it a test run over here. Okay, connect that because there was like a little piece. And then seal it on the back as well. Okay, line everything up, test it, and then just seal everything. Okay, and it should look like this. Okay, so that looks good. And now what you're gonna wanna do is you're just gonna wanna cut around that fuse line. So we're gonna leave a little bit of an offset because you don't wanna cut right onto the part where we fused it. So just go around with your scissors and cut an outline. Okay, and once you've done that, now we could add the decorative lid. So this is the lid that I'm using. I cut it out in gold foil cardstock. I have already added red line tape to the back here. And you could use score tape as well, but I just want to really make sure this stays in place. So I'm going to remove the backing on the tape here. And I found this red line tape at the dollar store. Like in Canada, they have it at your dollar store for more, but it's also at Michael's. So I'm gonna grab my tweezers and then I'm just gonna place it at the top here like this. Okay, and then once you do that, burnish it into place. So it should look like this. And now it's just a matter of decorating. So I already have my little gingerbread peaker cut out off camera. And so this is what he looks like. I already added some like little red line tape here to the back here so that he could stick properly. And I'm gonna put him right here, like at the top. Like, of course, you don't have to use a peaker, like I said, but you know, it's gonna be cute. And then I have his little two hands cut out and I added glue to the back of it already. And I'm gonna use my tweezers again to place this. See, I use these tweezers for everything because they really help. Okay, so that's one side, and then here's the other side. Just place it. These tweezers really help you to be more precise, especially when you're trying to center something. But that, again, is just me. And now I want to add some twine. So I just have this pink twine, and I'm just going to go around it like twice here at the top, like if you want to add some. So just go around once, 2 times. Okay, one more time. And then gonna cut this off. Okay, and then just tie a little bow, which I'm not the greatest at, but just do your best. And then I like the bow to be off to the side here like this. Right here, looks good. And I'm just gonna tie like one more knot just to make sure it stays in place. Okay, and then adjust it a little bit. Okay, that looks good to me, and I like to cut it here about. Yeah, this is all up to you, like how you want it. And I'm just gonna leave this like not too short for now. And then also, I did make a little tag that I'm gonna put on, and I backed it with like 110-pound cardstock a couple times just to make it sturdy. I added a piece of tape because we are adhering it onto like a non-porous material, and I'm gonna want it to go under here. And then, so I'm just gonna put this here like this, off to the side. You can, of course, like totally adjust it to like a way you want it. That looks good. And then you could like move the twine over as well. And then also I like to stick a little like embellishment, which I'm gonna use this flower that I got from Michael's. And I'm gonna put it like right here so it doesn't cover the words. And I'm just gonna grab my glue gun. I'm gonna get this ready because the glue gun, you have to be fast. And then my glue gun's been heating up. Just add a bit of glue to the top here. And then put this like this so that it doesn't cover the letters. Okay, and so that looks good to me. So you can make like little adjustments to fix it any way you like, but so yeah, that is pretty much the tutorial on how to make this little mason jar embellishment. So I hope you enjoyed that, and if you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below and I'd be happy to answer. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for trying this out. Bye.